Awesome, everybody. Welcome. I'm Nicole. I'm going to share my screen out for you. I'm going to try to make it so that I can see my chat and the slides. So I will see if this works. That way I can still see your wonderful chats. I'm going to try to get through this so we have time for questions. But I am just so grateful today to be with everyone here to talk about how to be a successful superwoman in technology, which I know many of you already are. So we're going to build on our superpowers so that we can cover everyone from Dayton, Ohio to Singapore to the UK. So again, a trick for everyone is to click on the little bubble and you'll be able to see the person's information. So you can easily connect with people from all over. And I am going to just really quickly drop my information in here, and that way you can connect with me. You know, I'm here because I love sparking tech diva success, and I've been in this field for 15 plus years as an engineer, with most of my time at Cisco Systems. And then I've done this side work in podcasting and speaking and just giving back to the community and the tech community. And so there's nothing more exciting to me than to be here to share my success secrets for you. So obviously my new brand for everything, and there's been a lot of sessions on branding. So I'm excited that Tech Diva Success is up because we have the Diva Tech Talk podcast, and I have a new podcast. So if you want to get involved in that, check out the site. I'm also a certified Jack Canfield success coach. So what are we going to talk about? It's in three main areas. The first is on diversity data. I have a book coming out in fall with Jack Canfield called Pillars of Success. And in that book, I just wanted to start out with the why. Why do we need more women in technology? What value does that bring? And so we're going to look at the data. We're going to look at the success formula. And every single one of you, if you want to know what do you need to do to contribute to a diverse workplace and really a diverse world, you know, as we face many conversations right now around that, especially in America, you know, how can we be a champion for all diversity? And I'm excited to share that with you. So behind the data, there is a story, and this is just so important because the benefits of having more women in technology are there, and we need to talk about it. So what do we have going on? Well, we have a few different things, and let me actually build this one out for you. So we have some surprises, all right? There's three things that really build a truly diverse and inclusive culture. And this is the things that they have, you know, when you look at what's being successful. And I want to stop and give you an analogy. There is diversity is like being asked to the dance. Inclusion is actually being asked to dance when you get there. And acceptance is dancing like no one is looking. So I just love that as we start to see what those three things are and how they fit in, because we use those terms often. And when you have a truly diverse environment, a nurturing environment for gender equality, that is going to draw top talent. 78% of Americans consider gender diversity in the workplace important. But research from Catalyst shows that when a company culture feels fair and inclusive, women and underrepresented groups are happier and more likely to thrive. Making moves towards gender representation also reduces workplace harassment, as we can assume. And in a 2016 study, nearly 2/3, 65% of employees felt that respectful treatment of all employees was an important factor in job satisfaction. Sometimes we overthink it. It's just respect and love for each other. And I come from a very heart-driven background, so that fits. And I love this as well, is that the more psychologically safe employees feel at work, the more likely they are to feel included, to feel part of that culture. In addition, team diversity boosts productivity and profitability. To back this up, I used a study spanning 22,000 globally traded public companies across 91 countries that show that having just 30% of women in leadership creates a 6% greater net profit. And some older data shows a correlation as well between higher stock values and overall profitability. This could actually improve global output by 25% or 1/4 if we were able to compare that to business as normal. Some countries are very successful in it. Maybe some of you are from Norway. I would love to hear about what it's like there, because I hear that they require 40% gender equality, and a lot of the trickle from corporate equality goes into society, which is so exciting to study. And my last and one of my favorite pieces is that diverse teams drive deeper customer engagement and unlock innovation. It's kind of common sense, right? When you have different solutions, you drive more innovative ways to look at things. And teams are 158% more likely to understand the customer when they have one trait in common, like gender, race, age, sex, or even culture. And that earlier study shows that diversity in management earns 38% more revenue from innovative products because we have that. So it's really, really important to see how we can unlock innovation. And this is why I talk about superheroes, because if we have more gender equality, we can create more innovation, we could solve more world's problems, and we could bring all of these values to companies. Unfortunately, there's some more work to do. Although in a study, they show that 87% of companies, and that was a big bump from 2012, where it was only 56% of companies, are committed to gender diversity. Look at these numbers. I'm going to walk you through this because this is very important. The rating of senior leaders to say that gender and racial diversity was important was 67 to 77%. And that's male and female. So that they're saying at the higher levels, yes, this is important. And we're seeing movement in higher levels of organizations of gender parity. But when you look at the senior leaders that are actually working to address it, only 45 to 47%. And then we look at managers, first line managers actively working to address it is only 13 to 19%. So companies and leadership can do better to help people understand how we can work to address this problem. And a big piece is that broken rung, right? If we can improve diversity at the first level managers, that's where we can make a big impact. So go back to your companies and have that conversation, because still only 26% of computing jobs are held by women, with a more than twice as high turnover rate. And I just want to reiterate how important it is. It's not just checking a box. It's not that for you. It shouldn't be just doing a training. It should be living those values, and it shouldn't be for your company. So challenge that. It shouldn't be a one and done. It should be a way that we live our lives and a way that we live in corporate, so that we are more than just checking the box. We're really building that culture because we know the benefits. So how can we build these successful women in tech? My super women, okay? And I will check back in with you guys right after this. We're going to go through these 5 pieces of the success formula and see what you think. The first is my favorite. This is the Jack Canfield principle. Many of these are, is that you can take 100% responsibility, and you must take 100% responsibility for your actions. And I'm going to give you the secret to life. This is the secret to calculate your life. It's a formula: E plus R equals O. Events, which happen to us all the time, our response, which we own, leads to an outcome. So let's say someone swerves in front of you and cuts you off. It's an event. It happens. Your response could be, I'm so mad. They cut in front of me. And your outcome is that you're mad all day, right? Kind of set your day off and you have road rage, or someone could swerve in front of you and you can just wave and say, you know what, go ahead, have a good day, and just wish them, they're in a hurry, hope they make it where they're going. 2 different outcomes. If we were to take the events, the responses, and the outcomes and put them like in an Excel spreadsheet, the total of those outcomes is our life experience. And that's why I think in the nerd in me says, okay, we can tally a quantifiable thing and say, okay, my outcomes are important, but we can't always control the events. We couldn't help COVID. We can't help events that are happening, but we can respond to them. And there's 3 things we can control in our response. Our thoughts, what are we thinking when it happens? Like, someone cut me off, or, oh, they must be in a hurry. go ahead, or you can think, oh, that person's just a bad driver. You can have visual images in your mind, right? And you could change your behavior. So we can change those three things. In fact, this formula, E plus R equals O, gives you the constant opportunity to improve your response and be better. So you can control your thoughts, you could control your visual images, and you can control your behavior. But what we tend to do is blame, complain, and make excuses. You're late to work. You say, oh, my kids were hard to get ready this morning. The traffic was bad. Haven't been feeling well. These types of things in any form really hurt our capability to own and take 100% responsibility for our lives. If you know traffic is bad, then leave early. That will mean that you're most likely on time. Everyone's human. We all have to accept the human element. But my challenge to you, and I have 5 strength building activities. We're going to try to make this real. We have such a short time together, and I have 5 things we can do. So for 1 month, I'd like you to go in your calendar. I'm going to grab mine here, July 10th. Okay. On July 10th, I am going to see how many times did I blame or complain or make an excuse. And I just want you to count it, because if we can eliminate that, we can move forward. Goal setting. You hear this a lot. Let's set some goals. Let's work on things. Well, let me give you some framework to make this real, right? Because we hear this so often. I'm sure you'll hear it in other talks. And if you actually go through these steps to secure your success by really taking these little pieces and doing them on your goals, you will go from 46% if you're just thinking about your goals to 86% more likely to accomplish them. So thinking about them is the first step. It's half the battle. Are you thinking about goals? Or are you just going along with the status quo? Because that's the first thing, right? And then writing them down. You can kind of sneak down to the bottom and see that I'm going to challenge you to write some of these down. But make a list then of, okay, you have your 3 goals. I'd like you to think about 3 goals in the next 1 to 3 months that you can accomplish. Maybe just writing goals is one of your goals. Moving up at work, having a plan for your career, fixing your brand, and make a list of actions to achieve that. So if you say, I want to lose weight, well, what do you have to do? Well, I need to be in the gym 5 times a week. I need to eat healthy, and I need to make sure I'm finding that time and space for my partner to commit to do that. And then send that list to someone, write it down and send it to someone. Send it to your boss, your husband, your wife, your friend, someone, just to say, hey, I'm working on these things at this time. I just wanted to let you know, I just want to stay accountable. And then report back to them, hey, I've really been doing great. I've been listening to this podcast that you've been saying, and I've been loving it. And the last piece on goals is there's 8 areas. So this helps me a lot, because goals seem sometimes overwhelming, like goals for what, right? Like these 8 areas listed: finance, work, career, relationships. It helps you bucketize and compartmentalize. In my data mind, I see these compartments where you can actually say, okay, these are 8 areas where I can set my personal spiritual growth. Maybe I want to meditate. That's a totally different goal than being out of debt. So just know that you can have goals across all of these areas, and that will help you balance. So your super strength building activity is to set 3 of those goals that you can achieve in the next 1 to 3 months. And I don't know if you guys have watched or read The Secret. It's an amazing mindset. And I just believe so much in manifesting and the power of the mind, because it's one thing to have the goals. Oftentimes you'll see this type of affirmation and visualization and vision boards. But with an affirmation, so you have a goal to lose weight. I do, sure. Right. And so you want to affirm that you have it. You want to act as if you have that, right? And you want to create with each goal a statement as if you've achieved it. So your mind can start to say, I am feeling beautiful on the beach in summer 2021 in my favorite bikini. And let's look at what I did there. I said, I am, so that I'm in it. I'm using present tense, like I'm at the beach right then. I'm feeling beautiful at the beach. Like that makes me feel like I'm at a beach. And it's positive, right? I'm feeling beautiful at the beach. Very brief too, like not like I'm feeling beautiful at the beach after driving down the highway and I'm with my family and we have a cooler and it's full of, just brief. I'm feeling beautiful at the beach in my bikini in summer 2020. And that's kind of specific, right? So it's a time, it's a place, and it's action words. I'm feeling, I'm going, I'm having, with some type of dynamic feeling word that like beautiful. And then use that for yourself. Don't try to affirm things for others. We can't control others. We want to control our own mindset and our subconscious. And then you could start to see that beach, right? So when you really hear about goal setting and manifest and all these things, it's really this process I'm giving you that I hope allows you to make it more real. So what else do we have? And I will take a break after these 5 and pop over to the chat. So I hope maybe you can share some of your goals in the chat with each other, see what other people are working on. And the last 2 superhero activities are taking action. It's very important. The difference between a successful tech diva and unsuccessful is just simply taking action. We have to act. There's obvious actions, things you need to do to lose weight, go to the gym, etc. And then there's inspired actions. Man, I really need to talk to my friend Angela. She's great at yoga. It will really help me. Act on those. That's telling you something. That little thought that you should reach out to someone or check in on a friend, act on those. And you can use a mind mapping tool like MindMeister or Canva has an option. I gave a sample here to like mind map your goals, your actions, your activities. So consider something like that as the 4th strength building activity. And the last superhero component is to ask. Ask for things that will help you reach your goal more easily and quickly, and ask without fear. People sometimes stop, right? If I want to progress my career, I might need to ask my boss to invest in a certification. And when I do that, I want to manifest a yes, like he's going to help me with that. And he can give that to me, right? If I ask, my friend to fund, I wish I could get this certificate. Can that person help me pay for that certificate? Maybe. Looking for friends if we have anyone who could do that. But, ask someone who can give it to you. Be clear and specific. My example here is very funny. When you ask your husband, like I'll say, babe, can you please keep the house clean this week? Now, that's pretty broad, right? But if I say, hey, can you help me this week by just making sure the dishes are out and that we have food on the table, it would really help me get through this busy week. Is he more likely to help keep the house clean? Or am I going to see food on the table and maybe some more dishes done? So the more specific you can ask for anything, if you want to ask someone support and mentoring, can I have your support in talking to so-and-so about me getting this job? And ask for what you want, never what you don't want. Always keep it in the positive and just keep asking, and don't be afraid of rejection. So I'm going to encourage you to take a screenshot here, because these are all 5 activities in one. That is the success formula. And then I am going to bring it home in the last few seconds here. And then we'll go to Q&A, because I want to finish before they cut me off, because this is really important on how you can become a diversity champion. 5 quick ways. Promote, discover, understand within your company or community any type of employee resource organizations or ways you can support diverse or inclusive organizations. Attend those diversity events, reach down into your community, attend local youth STEM events. You never know what people are going to see in you. That's a little piece of them. And sharing your story is the best way to do so. Encouraging diverse hiring practices. It's not just the candidate pool, which is really important. How can you put more visibility into jobs out there that people can see? But also diverse interview panels. If you're the only female developer at your company, maybe you can volunteer to help interview developers coming in. It's not just the pool of people coming in we want diverse, it's the people interviewing them. Because if it's the same people interviewing them and it's all men or all the same race or all the same culture, you're not going to get the diversity of assessing the candidates. So think about volunteering. We're lucky to have something like that at Cisco. And then connecting people to mentoring and sponsorship and doing that yourself. And the last 2 I'll leave you with is just a mindset. We can be 1% better every day, but if you think about things in a diversity lens, what would it be like to be the only Black person in this meeting? What would it be like to be the only female on this team? What would it be like to be struggling with alcoholism at a time of COVID where there's all these happy hours? Thinking like other people allows you to be more sensitive and helps you shape that inclusive culture where you're open to pivoting a little bit of how you act, and most of all, be an ally. What does it mean to be an ally? It means standing up when you see things that aren't right. Don't sit around and watch bad things happen that are affecting your culture. Be an ally, see something, say something, and represent this diverse, wonderful world that we know can give benefits, but it just takes everyone doing their part. So I'm going to switch to Q&A. I've had my screen share up for a while, and it's hard to balance that in the chat. So I'm excited to move over, but if you don't have anyone in the room with you, I would love to say this together. The moment I take responsibility of my life is the moment I gain power to change anything in my life. So I would love to connect online. I'm going to stop sharing and go into the chat. I hope this was awesome. I am so happy to see everyone in the chat now. I'm going to one more time put my information out here so that you can see it and we can connect. I just launched my new brand. I put all my brand stuff out there. We got a new podcast coming up. I hope this was empowering, and I'm going to stay around for a few more seconds just to see if they're not going to cut me out yet. If there's any questions that I can answer. And I just hope you guys feel so empowered. And I just want to let you know, you are amazing. You are smart. And this is just, just pass our energies through this virtual platform to encourage each other and to brighten our world. So is there any questions? Oh, yes. When you're just starting your career, you can always look at your strengths and your passion. I have this passion test I'll find the link for, or connect with me. It's actually on YouTube. And if you are getting new into something, you should definitely understand, like translating, say you're a restaurant server and you're moving into corporate. There's a lot of things that you can use from that background, connecting with people, sales, customer service. Those are all things that you can take from your previous experience and turn into something that's in corporate. So that's really great. I hope we can get the presentation. We're waiting to get the cues. I'm happy to provide the presentation. If you connect with me, I'm happy to give you the PDF. I'm happy to come speak to your organizations and share this message to spark Tech Diva success. And I hope this was helpful. I think a lot of times I felt overwhelmed with like generic ways of setting goals and affirmations. So I really wanted to create a formula that like will allow you to unlock this amazing potential that is in all of you. Like everyone is here right now on this earth with amazing gifts, and we're seeing them throughout this entire conference. In fact, if you have one to share, I have a new podcast called the Tech Diva Success Podcast. And we're going to continue to share stories in 15-minute snippets of people that will be able to help you be your best self and be successful. Any other questions? You guys are so nice. Thank you so much. It's hard to see without the audience. So the chats are very helpful. Again, if you just click on the bubble of the person's picture or their initials, you can get straight to their LinkedIn and information. I posted mine in the chat as well. And you know what, this afternoon in about 5 or 6 hours, if you log back in, I'll be helping on the main stage to hopefully amp up some of the presenters. So looking forward to you there. In a technical role as a leader, I think when you ask someone and you want them to take it seriously, technical people are different animals, right? Tell them the why. When you're trying to get people to do things for you, tell them why you think you want to do it, and ask them as well if there's a better way. I find as a leader, like opening the loop of feedback so that you're getting the best ideas and making them part of the solution. Like, hey, I'm thinking that in order to achieve this, we could do this. Do you have any other ways to do it? What do you think about this platform? We demand more diversity by showcasing the stuff that I have here and the information that will be in my book. We show the value, and that's why I have the first data part of my talk. Why does it matter to have diversity? And that's why I love leading with data, plus the nerd in me, right? Is leading with data to show that it's more profitable, it's more innovative, it attracts top talent when we have diverse teams, and it allows us to meet our mission. If we're serving customers, if we're creating products, we can do that. And, we're all trying to be more diverse. So the diverse championship list will help us if we have all male leadership, if it really isn't changing, then you can maybe consider a different company and ask those questions and look at their corporate board. And again, it's not just at the top, it's looking at all levels. And we have a lot of work to do. That's why I'm so passionate about this topic, about growing and showing the value of women in business, because we can actually show how to be a diversity champion. That's for leaders, so that we can slowly push the number. But again, that first level manager is very important. We need more diversity. We need more sponsorship of people to come up in first level management, because at the top, that's where you get visibility in companies, right? So they look at the top and looking at the other parts as well. Anything else? What other questions do we have? I'm so excited for all of the connections here. I will very quickly go to LinkedIn and make sure everyone has my LinkedIn, or click on my little bubble. It's awesome. I've gotten a lot of networked people just from this. So it's definitely a great way to network. I do have the original Nicole on LinkedIn. And again, much gratitude. It was a pleasure. And I just really send love and light to all of you. And we are all part of the solution. Gender pay equality means we have to talk about it. There's a lot of resources. I can give you a link if you send it to me, of like taking your roles and then looking at public data of those roles and saying, here's what I get paid. So it's about asking as well. Remember, one of my superhero tips was asking. It's about asking for pay. And then also, I find when you're in a career, this is a great pro tip, is being proactive. So what I do is I set my goal at the beginning of the quarter. I'm going to achieve these things in the quarter. I find quarterly cadence is really great for business. And at the end of the quarter, I proactively report back to my boss everything I did to take care of my role, to execute on those goals, to impact the business, to be a master of my craft. And then I say, on top of that, I did these things. I gave back. I was in my community. I was talking about network as code. I was doing these things, and that will help you hopefully help showcase your value. But the pay gap is something we all need to work on using data. So that's a great thing. Use data, look at the roles. And again, I have a link to some sources on that. But you know, the more we can talk about it, the better. And the more you demand your value. You're valuable. If something doesn't value you, just like people, then you need to move on. And that's another big success principle, is eliminating negative, unappreciative parts of your life, whether it's toxic friends or relationships or companies, and move to a company that supports you, and move to a family of people in the world that support you. All right. Well, I'm going to sign off. There's so many other great speakers, and just thank you again. One love, and let's connect online. And I would love to see how we can become super women together, which will hopefully lead to more innovation, which will help solve climate challenges, equity challenges, and global peace. All right. One love. Thank you, everybody.